Top of the morning, man. This morning I want to talk a little bit about supervision. You dig? As it relates to peer support, though, you know, one thing I will say is that the world is starting to understand. I'll say America, because I ain't been all over the world, but in America, we're starting to see the value of, you know, certified peer support specialists. That's what we call them here in North Carolina. In other places, someone would call them certified peer recovery specialists. Some people call them certified peer support workers. There are different names, but the credential is centered upon recovery. A person being in recovery from substance use or mental health, by the way, because you could have co-occurring, which there's a lot of overlap there. That's a whole nother video. But when we start thinking about supervision of these certified peer support specialists that are doing the work, what does that supervision need to look like? Like, who should be the person supervising a certified peer support specialist, given that this person is qualified by their own personal recovery journey? Who can supervise your personal recovery journey is a question. Who would it be appropriate? Who would be the appropriate person to supervise your personal recovery journey? Because, like, if your recovery journey is what qualifies you as a peer support, then your recovery journey is what needs to be discussed in your supervision, not just what goes on with your peers or your program participants, your customers. I mean, there's different names that we call the people we serve. Some people try to veer away from the word client. I don't mind using the word client because, like, peer support in the workforce development space, I love using the word client because it sounds more like, you know, businessy, professional. You know, that's my client. That's my workforce development client that I'm working for, you know, like a professional sports agent or something. You know what I'm saying? I love the sound of client. I don't know why that bothers some people, but that's neither here nor there. But with your people that you're working with, you know what I'm saying? Like supervision, you feel me? Like, who would be the appropriate person to supervise peer support? Here comes the recommendation. Drum roll, please. Y'all ready for this? Change Agent Cooper recommendation. My recommendation is a person who supervises a certified peer support specialist should be in the same recovery pathway as them. That's a recommendation. So that means if you're in recovery from addiction, if you're a certified peer support specialist that is in recovery from addiction, you should be supervised by another person who is in recovery for addiction. That's one recommendation. The next one is, if we want to look at it more from a systemic, more of a systemic way of professionalism with the credentials and the alphabet soup. Y'all like alphabet soup? I never ate those alphabet cereal. I ate alphabet soup before because they got a lot of kids, and we do chicken noodle soup when kids get sick. That's neither here nor there. That was super random. Good morning. But anyway, second recommendation, drum roll, please. And this is for, like, the people who are into the super professional side, where you got to have credentials and all that stuff. So drum roll, please. The other recommendation is a person, if you feel like you got to have credentials to do the supervision, then the person that is supervising the certified peer support specialist should also be in recovery. That means if they are LCAS, a licensed clinical addiction specialist, they should also be in recovery. That's my other recommendation. If it's a licensed clinical social worker, they should also be in recovery. If they are CCS, certified clinical supervisor, they should also be in recovery. You feel me? If they're a clinical supervisor intern, they should also be in recovery. Look at all that sweat. Boy, I got it in at the gym this morning. Don't play with me. But those are my recommendations as it relates to supervision for peer support specialists. This will also open up opportunities for those people who have overcome that deadly disease of addiction, who have transitioned into the world of helping people. This could be a side hustle for them to do the supervision groups, to do the one-on-one supervision, whatever. But each organization could earmark a certain amount of money to contract somebody to supervise the certified peer support specialist. And this has come up to me because, you know, I see there are some institutions and bigger organizations that are starting to hire peer support specialists that have never hired peer support specialists before. And the feedback that I've received from several of these peer supports that have worked in those spaces is that they did not feel supported. They did not feel supported. And so how do we address this? I'm not here just to complain. I'm a change agent. I'm here to innovate. Whenever a gap in service is there, I'm going to bring a recommendation to the table. I'm going to send it out to all the higher ups, you know what I'm saying, in high positions with the Department of Health and Human Services. I'm going to send it out in my YouTube channel because I'm not trying to hold this to myself, because I'm trying to see it improve for the people. It's power to the people. It's power to the people strategy. You feel me? And I understand there's a shortage on behavioral health workers. And so if we're going to be trying to address that shortage with my brothers and sisters that are in recovery, recovery, then we need to make sure that they got the appropriate supervision. You dig what I'm saying? So you got those two recommendations. One of them is if you're being supervised by a peer support specialist, they need to be a peer support specialist that is in the same pathway of recovery as you. So if it's addiction, they should be in addiction recovery. If it's mental health and you have a mental health diagnosis and you've been on your meds and doing your groups and your therapy for a long period of time, then the person you supervise need to have the same type of mental health recovery. You feel me? And the other part is for y'all institutions, you dig what I'm saying, that want to have certain alphabets attached to a person's name. If that alphabet is supervising the peer support specialist, then that alphabet needs to also be in recovery. That alphabet needs to also be in recovery. Let's honor recovery. Let's truly honor lived experience. Let's truly honor it and make sure it's appropriately supervised. And remember, if your recovery is what qualifies you to do your job, then your recovery needs to be discussed in your supervision. My name is Change Agent Cooper. I'm not the answer, but I'm for damn sure the alternative.